for joining us with a life of love and action. And as a performing artist myself, instructor, director, lover of people, I believe that the arts is very important in bringing not only our youth together and empowering them and inspiring them to speak up and speak out and to use theater as a platform, but I think it's important to bring it back into the schools. I think it's important in the universe because it brings all of us together as one. Our theme this year is a life of love and action. I believe that art brings life and love and action to every community in the world. It is quite universal. So I think that is very fitting this year, the 21st year of the Concerned Women of Hamtramck's Breakfast, because one of our goals is to, first of all, increase our membership. So anyone that is interested, please sign up today and let us know that you are interested in being a concerned woman. We're looking for, of course, diversification. We're looking for open minds. We're looking for artists. We're looking for people from all walks of life. So please consider. And when I say concerned women, I'm hoping that men are concerned as well for the women. So we're looking for men to join up as well. I don't want to carry on. I want us to move this day along quite quickly and wonderfully well. So I am going to now turn is Dominique in the house?
She's on her way.
Okay, I'm going to ask Eric Porter now to come up and do our national anthem. So we can open with the national anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave for the land of the free and the home of our brave.
Good morning. Let us all bow our heads as we prepare to go before the throne of grace. Father God, with bowed heads and humbled hearts, we come before the throne of grace this morning, dear Lord, just praising you and thanking you that you allowed us to wake up. We're praising you and thanking you, dear Lord, that you allowed us to come to this breakfast this morning, Father God, the 21st breakfast for Dr. Martin Luther King. We're praising you for that. We're praising you for the fellowship. We're praising you for our community. We're praising you, Father God, for just being the God that you are. We're asking you, dear Lord, right now, in the mighty name of sweet Jesus, to just sweep down upon us and bless us abundantly. Bless the meal that we will partake in this morning, Father God, as a unity meal. Let the nourishment not only be for our bodies, but our souls and spirits as well. When we leave out of here today, Father God, let us leave with a renewed mind, a renewed spirit, and a renewed soul. Let us rededicate ourselves to our community, to Hamtramck as a whole, recognizing, Father God, that we are one body, we are one family, we are one people. Bless right now, Lord, in a mighty way. Bless those that don't have. Bless those that do have. Let them recognize that it's their obligation to reach back and help a needy soul, for that is what Dr. King was all about. It wasn't about color, but it was about helping, fellowshipping, forgiving, and loving. And dear Lord, we will be mindful to give you and only you the praises that you are so deserving of. In the name of sweet Jesus, everyone under the sound of my voice said, amen. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome again. I'm Thomas Nietzsche, Superintendent of Hamtramck Public Schools. I'd like to thank Ms. Porter and of course Eric Porter for his wonderful job of singing, and our own Darla Swint. Coretta Scott King, Dr. King's wife, wrote something that is extremely powerful, and I'd like to just read parts of it before we begin with going to the introductions. Again, this is written by Dr. King's wife, Coretta Scott King. It's the meaning of the King holiday. We commemorate Dr. King's inspiring words because his voice and vision filled a great void in our nation and answered our collective longing to become a country that truly lived by its noblest principles. Yet Dr. King knew it wasn't enough just to talk the talk, yet to walk the walk for his words to be credible. And so we commemorate this holiday, the man of action who put his life on the line for freedom and justice every day, the man who braved threats and jail and beatings, who ultimately paid the highest price to make democracy a reality for all Americans. Today's a day of interracial and intercultural cooperation and sharing. No other day of the year brings so many people from different cultural backgrounds together in such a vibrant spirit of brother and sisterhood. Whether you are African American, Hispanic, Native American, whether you're Caucasian, Asian American, you're a part of the great dream Dr. Martin Luther King had for America. This is not a black holiday. It is a people's holiday and it's the young people of all races and religions who hold the keys to fulfillment of his dream. Every King holiday has been a national teaching on the values of nonviolence, including unconditional love, tolerance, forgiveness, which is so desperately needed to unify America. It is a day of intensive education and training in Martin's philosophy and methods of nonviolent social change and conflict resolution. The holiday provides a unique opportunity to teach young people to fight evil, not people, to get in the habit of asking themselves, what is the most loving way I can resolve this conflict? Now I'd like to recognize the concerned women of Hamtramck. The founder is Yvonne Myrick. Mrs. Myrick hopefully will make it here. The weather outside is delayed her. Madeline Porter is the interim president. Yes, and when your name is read, please stand. Lottie Daniels. Amanda Dumas. Amanda has passed and she's now in a better place. Daisy Edge. Doris Jetton. Doris is also in a better place, as is Joetta Jones. Mary Kegler. Mildred Lee. Eloise Moore. Ida Perry, who's in a better place. Renee Savage. And Darla Swint. Also like to recognize the Hamtramck NAACP. The president is Darla Swint. This time I'd like to recognize the city officials. The mayor of the city of Hamtramck is Karen Majewski. City Council Mayor Pro Tem Anamia. Councilman Ian Parada. Councilman Saad Almasmari. Councilmember Andrea Karpinski. Councilmember Abu Musa. And the newest councilmember, Fidel Al-Masmari. The interim city manager is Kathy Anger. City clerk is August Gitschlag. Police chief is Ann Moyce. And the fire chief is Dan Hagan. I'd like to recognize the Hamtramck Board of Education. Our president, the president is Magdalena Schrodek. Vice President Evan Major. Treasurer Dennis Lucas. Trustee Atur Khan. Trustee Mortada Obaid. And Trustee Shokat Chowdhury. So I'd like to recognize the Hamtramck Public School administrators. The principal of Hamtramck High School is Chris Veronic. We have two assistant principals, Sarah Flipiak and John Summerhill. Principal at Horizon is Kristen Hurt. Principal at Kosciuszko Middle School, New Ivezai. Principal Dickinson East is Corey Pitts. Dickinson West, thank you, Mr. Ivezai, for correcting me. The principals, we have the principal at Dickinson East is George Hill, and the assistant is Jill Larkins. Holbrook principal is Myron Miller, and ECE principal is Colleen Stevens. Central office, Chief Financial Officer Sherry Lyman. Special Services Director Shalika Roby. EL Director Jalea Ahmed. Curriculum Consultant Sharon Streen. And Laura Lasicki. Our Recreation Director is Craig Daniels. And our Technology Coordinator is Mark Wilkinson. I also like to recognize our representative, Martha Scott. And also just another hand from Mrs. Yvonne Myrick, who just walked in. So if we could just recognize Mrs. Myrick, the founder, very much appreciated. Also, I'd like to recognize Therese Comer, who worked with the students to get here. Thomas Korse, who's been working with the band. Elena Yordavanda, who's been working with the Kosciuszko band. Also like to recognize the Friends of Historic Hamtramck Stadium. Both these gentlemen were speakers last year. Gary Gillette, Mike Wilson, Ian Parada, and the PR Director, Dave Mesri. Okay. Also like to recognize Arif Hussick from Common Word Alliance. Greg Kirchner, who's our videographer. Tom Cervenak, who just recently retired from People's Community Services. 2 years, time flies. Really goes by quickly. Okay. With that being said, I truly appreciate everyone coming here this morning. This has been going on for 21 years, if you can imagine. 21 years has been here. So now we're going to go to Hamtramck's Got Talent. And I'd like everyone to please take out your green sheet of paper. And we'll begin right at the top. From Dickinson East, Onana Jassy, who has an essay for us. Onana Jassy. Oh, look how cute this student is.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a man who took a big role in the civil rights movement. He wasn't just that, he was a loving and caring person. He would take action when he sees anyone suffering. He had promised his mom that he would take a role in the civil rights movement. Once, Martin pushed his grandma, which knocked her out cold. Because Martin thought she was dead, he jumped out the window. Luckily, though, they both survived. Years later, Martin was looking for an appropriate wife. One lucky day, he met Coretta Scott. She was a young and lovely woman. After spending a little time together, they got married. Now Martin needs to decide which job he wants. He got a job offer from the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. He got a few more job offers, but they weren't as strong as this one. But that area was full of segregation, so they didn't want to go there. Martin decided that this wasn't how African Americans should live. African Americans had to sit in the back of the bus, and they weren't allowed in schools or stores for whites. Those problems were up to Martin and Coretta to fix. The same day he made a speech at the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, the Topeka Board of Education outlawed segregation at public schools in Kansas. On the other hand, a woman named Rosa Parks got arrested for not giving up her seat to a white. Now African Americans had enough of segregation on buses, so they decided to boycott the bus. Basically, they were going to refuse to ride the bus to bring a change. This went on for a while, but it was worth it. A couple of African Americans already had a plan for a solution on the store problem. They were just sitting down in the stores for whites without saying a word. Then other African Americans started joining them. Whites got angry, so they started being violent. The African Americans just sat there resisting the temptation to fight back. It was hard work doing this, and this took a long time. Fortunately, though, segregation at stores were gone. Martin traveled to other places to fix their problems. One day, Martin was at Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee with his friends. They were talking about what to do next about segregation when suddenly a shot fired at Martin's face and he died. Coretta and all of his followers were depressed and knew they had to carry on his acts to honor him. They carried on, and finally segregation ended. Because of Martin's love and action and his role in the civil rights movement made him a big part of our history. We honor Martin by having MLK Day on the third Monday of January.
Thank you. Next, Dickinson West Choir with Eric Porter. We have Ava Baldumas, Brandon Bell, Daylon Harris, Antoinette Johnson, Jasmine Neighbors, Lena Penn, Lamarcus Penn, Maya Rookie, Maya Taylor, and Nina Wheeler.
Let's give these wonderful children from Dickinson West a hand. When Miss Porter asked me to do a song, I was kind of confused of what I should do. But the best songs I have is usually done with the choir. So the best kids I could find was my Dickinson West choir. We normally do the Black History every year. And quite a few of them are not here for whatever reason, but I have my faithful few. So let's encourage them as they attempt to help me do this song. Come on, encourage them. I'm adopted into the family, so I guess that makes me royalty. And it's giving me dominion, power over dominion. Everything I do is blessed, giving me the great success. I am the authority, God of the majority, living in the liberty. So you might as well get used to to the family. So I guess that makes me royalty. And give me dominion, yes. Power over them, yes. Everything I do is blessed. Giving me the great success. I am the authority. God is the authority. Living in a liberty. So you might as well be used to me. Oh yeah. Living life. It's my own. I belong. So you might as well. Say living life, yeah. It's gone. I belong to the body's way. Everything I do is blessed. Giving me the great success. I am the authority. God is the authority. Living in my liberty. So you might as well get used to me. Oh yeah. Just living life. It's not all I belong. So you might as well. Get something in your hand. 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 I can wave it in the air. 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 Let's give my hand in right.
Thank you, Dickinson West, and thank you, Mr. Porter. Please give them another round of applause. So we move to Kosciuszko Middle School. Music selections, Shahad El-Zandani playing the flute, and Faiza Sula on the piano. Please give them another round of applause. Next, from Kosciuszko again, Emma Brzovic and Sofia Baldumis on the violins, Ancient Hunters. Thank you. Give them another round of applause. Okay, again from Kosciuszko, Pink Panther, clarinet, Sabasha Bieda. Thank you. And again, one more time, one more round of applause. Okay. Our last musical selection from Kosciuszko Middle School will be Allegro, Fatma Sikar, and Sammy Salmon. Thank you, and give them another round of applause. And before we go on to the essay readings, would all the musical performers from Kosciuszko please stand one more time? to stand up here and do what they did in front of this group truly are remarkable students, students that we're extremely proud of. Thank you. Next, essay readings, again from Kosciuszko, The King's Dream, Wassam Algaheim.
The King's Dream. Who was Martin Luther King Jr.? Martin Luther King Jr. was a loving husband and father to his 4 children and his wife, Coretta Scott. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929 at his family home in Atlanta. Martin Luther King Jr. was a very smart boy. Before he entered school, he had already knew how to read. That was all thanks to his mother, Alberta Williams King. She was a teacher and she taught him. MLK Jr. attended David T. Howard Elementary School in Atlanta at the age of 5. At that time, kids had to start school at the age of 6, so MLK Jr. had to return the next year. MLK Jr. did not have to go to 9th and 12th grade at Booker T. Washington High School because he was so intelligent that he entered Morehouse College at the age of 15. He graduated in 1948 with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in psychology. At Morehouse, MLK Jr. was inspired by Thoreau's essay. That's what encouraged him to change the nation of our society. At the age of 17, MLK Jr. had his first public speech at Ebenezer's Church. That's why his father, Martin Luther King, was the pastor. MLK Jr. fought for equal rights for all people of color and race. MLK Jr. did not use weapons or hate even after all the threats and danger that his family was in. After they burned his church, MLK Jr. didn't retaliate. He used knowledge and kindness. MLK Jr. had a dream that all races, colors, and nations should come together as equals. Thanks to MLK Jr. and all who stood by his side that gave us the freedom of equal rights today. So this is who Martin Luther King Jr. is. Thank you for your time and have a great, wonderful evening.
Thank you. One more round of applause. Next essay, The Dream, Tarek Kostovic.
Hello, my name is Tarek Kostovic, and I'm here to present you with my essay called The Dream. The Dream. The truth is, everyone has some sort of dream. Every person in this world has their own version of what they aspire to become. Some of them have a dream to become a professional athlete, while others aim to be the smartest person on earth. But there was one person who had a different dream, a fabulous dream, a dream that would change humanity forever. This person was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He was born during a rough time in history where whites were seen as superiors in society and African Americans were their slaves. Despite what others told him, Dr. King believed in everyone being equal, no matter what type of label has been put on him or her. That's why he is recognized by some people to be the smartest and best person ever. His famous "I have a dream" speech is one of the most significant speeches ever to be given in U.S. history. He fought for equal rights, not just for African Americans, but for everyone who was mistreated. He did the most he could do to better people's lives. He did small little actions like smiling at someone, and he made their day better. Just think about that, how one small, simple action could change somebody's day. It's unbelievable. That's why we should never judge anyone by anything, because we never know what type of circumstances that they live under. There are people starving in several countries across the world. Imagine your own family having to go days, weeks, even months without a gram of food. Nowadays, we have an abundance of food that we carelessly throw away instead of donating to people in need. The world has certainly evolved and is not what it used to be decades ago. Take a moment to think about how happy Dr. King would be if he was still alive to see the progress we have made by having our first ever African American president. Unfortunately, Dr. King lived a short life of only 39 years. He was assassinated on April 4th, 1968, but his spirit never really left us. He inspired little children like me to write about him and to be as great a person as he was. I hope my words here have impacted you as Dr. King impacted me. My name is Derek Stavik, and I thank you for your time.
Again, one more round of applause. Next, where are the roots of my optimism? Alkali Mashra.
Where are the roots of my optimism? Wow, what a year. 2017 was full of disastrous events. I sure did need optimism. It seemed like every time I opened the news, all I saw was 26 dead, 89 dead, people suffering through tragedy after tragedy. When I catch myself feeling like this, I quickly need to remind myself that the world must have hope. Without hope for a brighter future, the planet will fall into chaos and despair. It's easy to get sucked into negative thinking, but it takes strength to be hopeful and follow your dreams. Let's narrow this down to me. I follow my dream of one day becoming a doctor. And I know in my path, I will face obstacles. But that does not stop me from following my dreams. Some look at the challenges and say, I can't. That is impossible. I look at mine and say, nothing is impossible. Even the word itself says, I'm possible. That is an optimistic mindset. All of my life, I failed. Was I upset? Yes. Did I quit? No. What helped me through it all was that golden word, optimism. It opened the golden path to possibilities and success. People in history became rich, famous, surprisingly, because of failing. For an example, Albert Einstein, who's known to many as the richest man in the world, couldn't talk until the age of 4 and had a hard time in elementary. Did that stop him? No. Like Albert Einstein said, life is like a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. He inspires me to be an optimistic person, to see the glass half full, not half empty. Around the world, people are depressed, looking for somewhere to call home. I don't see them quitting. 2 years ago, when I visited my birth country of Yemen, I was in shock. Even though really important life resources were missing, people were smiling, forgetting about the future. That is the person I strive to be. A person of hope and admiration. A person who cares about the past, but looks upon for a better future. An especially optimistic person is Martin Luther King Jr., who fought the war against racism. His weapon was neither guns nor knives, but a voice. He showed that our differences are our strengths, not our weaknesses. He also showed that we should all have the same freedoms. We should all have the same school opportunities, because we are all human. We all bleed red. Martin Luther King not only planted the seeds of optimism in me, but has given me the roots that are shaping me into a mighty man. We are all in need of that golden word to succeed, optimism. In my lifetime, I will never allow myself to to doubt that I cannot do something. Listen and grasp these words. They form the roots of my optimism.
Please give him another round of applause. Next, from Cotton Fields to Constitution Avenue, Fahim Udin.
Martin Luther King Jr. carved a path for so many people. He wasn't afraid to say what he believed in. As he says, love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. His words were right. He created equal rights for millions of people. Some of his many accomplishments include when Dr. King persuaded the Justice Department to desegregate fitting rooms, restrooms, lunch counters, and water fountains. That's not all. I will talk about Dr. King and his many accomplishments in the following few minutes. Let's start with his childhood. Dr. King was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He was the middle child of Michael King Sr. and Alberta Williams King. The Kings grew up in a safe and loving environment, although Martin's parents could not shield him from racism. Dr. King skipped both 9th and 11th grades. He was a very bright student. He attended Morehouse College at the age of 15. He earned a sociology degree and also attended the Crozer Theological Seminary. Benjamin Mays, the Morehouse College president, influenced Dr. King's spiritual development. People like Benjamin Mays in Dr. King's life had a very positive influence on the way he had turned out. One of Dr. King's most famous speeches he had ever performed is titled, "I Have a Dream." On this day, Dr. King led over 200,000 people at a march in Washington. This perhaps is the most important accomplishment he had ever achieved. It was a watershed moment for Dr. King. Another key moment in Dr. King's life was when the Montgomery bus boycott took action. In this event, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat in a bus to a white man, which is why she got arrested. Dr. King led a boycott for a whole year. Eventually, this case went to the Supreme Court. Although Dr. King was arrested for leading the protest, the court decided having segregated seats was unconstitutional. Dr. King was an inspiration to so many. This includes myself. I am not afraid to say what I believe in. I will thrive for a goal of mine no matter how much time and effort I have to put in. I remember coming to America about 6 years ago, clueless of what it had to offer me. I was afraid. Everything was so different from my birth country. I was afraid and worried I couldn't speak English. I was afraid and worried I wouldn't be able to make new friends. I was afraid and worried that I wouldn't be successful due to the lack of knowledge I have in the American school system. Because I was optimistic about the future in my new home country, in America, I now couldn't be happier with the outcome that came to be. Dr. King was always optimistic about the future. He never gave up. He and his family were threatened many times, but that did not stop him. Dr. King's life was fulfilled with achievement. He left his mark in the world, and I hope I can do the same by acquiring as many achievements as him one day. Until then, I'll have to work hard, stay in school, and be optimistic about the future. Thank you.
Thank you, and again, one more round of applause. Next, we have the man with a dream, Kyra Washington.
On January 15, 1929, a child named Martin Luther King was born to Martin Luther King Sr. and Alberta William King. Martin had two siblings, Christine King and Alfred Daniel King. When Martin was 12 years old, his grandmother died. Martin blamed himself and jumped out of a two-story building but survived. Later on, as Martin grew older, he attended Brooklyn T. Washington High School. Later, he graduated. Soon after, he met and married the woman of his dream, Miss Coretta Scott King. Together, they bore 4 children, Martin Luther King Jr., Martin Luther King III, Yolanda King, Bernice King, and Dexter Scott King. By this time, MLK was American Baptist minister, leader, and spokesperson in the civil rights movement. The differences between Dr. Martin Luther King and Donald Trump. First, Dr. King was black. He cared about everyone, even whites. He believes in for everyone. Donald Trump is white. Trump cares about rich, whites, and himself. Trump is all for himself. My opinion about how Donald Trump is affecting my life, he's making things worse. He's doing the opposite of Dr. Martin Luther King's dreams. He's causing too much problem in America, and we already have problems. Half of America would choose King rather than Trump, because King was positive about our country and Trump that just doesn't care.
Thank you. One more round of applause. From Hamtramck High School, You Raise Me Up, Imad Cade.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I'm on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I'm on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I'm on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be. Accidents happen. That was an accident. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and again, one more round of applause. Also, from Hamtramck High, we have a poem from Fidel Mathana.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity today. Before I start my poem, I would like to clarify two things in the poem. The first one is they. They doesn't necessarily mean students or parents. It means people that have lost their dreams because of the struggles that they are facing in the world. And the second clarification is ammu is uncle in Arabic, so just be aware. So the poem starts. They told me this: Amu, they told me this. I can't become a lawyer because I'm different. They look at me with glares as my skin color or eyes really matters. I was knowledgeable about the law and knew there had to be a way. When I spoke up, they threw rocks at me. I felt the pain but never considered them a belgrant. I focused on making a message that I'm different but still prosperous at heart. They threw my books at the floor and broke me to pieces. I still considered them friends, but what they had done to me made me feel separate, apart. Do people have to just acknowledge the fact that we're people, that we live without negative policies? Policies of separation, of people that God made created equally. Amu, I spoke again. Why do I have to follow your path? He replied, one person can't change the world. Still, I believed that one's heart can break the chain, make us all free. I made a promise to myself that I'm going to change what I can and make this world a world of perils. Then came a man with a pure message. A pure message, I have a dream. Amu, I spoke again. Why do you say one can't change the world? One is weak. He looked at me and said, because one has to have perseverance and has to be disesteemed. They told me this. I wasn't able to solve the resilience that many were afraid will cause them harm. With more had the courage, then we could probably change the world. Still, I stood and said, I have a dream of you, everyone and I wouldn't leave behind. A dream of one, a benefit of many. A dream of a nation that became the nation of red, white, and blue. A dream of liberty, freedom, and opportunity of all. This is a dream one believed and never left behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and again, one more round of applause. And moving on, Dominique Davis will come on the stage and join us, and she'll perform for us.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Okay, sorry for my tardiness, but I'm here. I love Hamtramck. Everybody that came up and spoke and sang and everything, y'all did really wonderful. Keep doing it. It all it will come to be you'll see why everybody pushes you to do it right now. So just keep doing it. But okay, so today I'm gonna sing for you "Eyes on the Sparrow," classic choir song. But I just wanted to say that a lot of the reason why I wanted to do something classic is because I want everybody to remember why we do certain things, especially why we have MLK Day, because it's to honor even something bigger than Martin Luther King. It's to honor diversity, which is something Hamtramck has always been, really well known for. So yeah, this is Eyes on the Sparrow. Thank you. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be longing for heaven and home when Jesus is my portion? What a constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I know he watches. I
And I know He watches over me. And I sing because I'm happy. And I sing because I am free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know that He watches over me. Thank you.
One more applause for Dominique, please. Now we're going to hear from our keynote speaker. She's the manager of education and community programs for the Michigan Opera Theater, and her name is Andrea Scobie.
Good morning, everybody. I have the exceptionally difficult task of following up everything wonderful that we've seen on this stage today. And I'm going to endeavor to keep my remarks very brief because there's nothing more inspiring or more affirming or more important than what we've heard from all of the young people who performed here today. So let's please recognize them one more time. So I'm just going to hold this. It's a little awkward there. So as Mr. Nishai mentioned, again, I'm Andrea Scobie. I'm the manager of education and community programs with Michigan Opera Theater, which is an incredibly long title, and I'm not going to ask anybody to remember it. But what it really means in a nutshell, simply put, is that my job is to bring art into the community. And I've been very, very lucky, so lucky to be able to be doing this work now for close to 15 years. And I really appreciate the dedication and the advocacy that I see present here in this room today, all of the folks who are working to ensure that the arts exist and move forward and advance, and that all of the young people here in Hamtramck have access to the arts and are able to be a part and take part and be leaders and artists in this community. It's been a real pleasure the last few months getting to know folks in Hamtramck, getting to know wonderful collaborators. Michigan Opera Theater is at the very beginning of a new project that we're calling Take Me Out to the Opera. And Take Me Out to the Opera explores arts and sports as two worlds where racial barriers were broken early, where you have folks like Marian Anderson, this incredible singer in the 1930s who performed a concert outdoors at the Lincoln Memorial when she was barred from singing in Constitution Hall by arbitrary color rules, and 75,000 people came and heard Marian sing that day. And we want to explore the stories of Josh Gibson, who was a Negro Leagues player of such prowess that people called Babe Ruth the white Josh Gibson. And so we're looking to explore these stories, to celebrate these stories throughout the course of the year. And in the spring, Michigan Opera Theater will be in residence here in Hamtramck for an entire week, doing workshops and performances and concerts that honor these stories and more, that bring our attention to the history here locally. We have Hamtramck Stadium, which is one of only a handful of Negro League stadiums that still exist in the United States. And we want to explore this history, to celebrate this history, and really to celebrate and honor the stories of all of the people who came before and led us to where we are today. So I thank everyone who I've spoken with in Hamtramck, my collaborators so far, who have made that possible. Over the course of my career, I have been so fortunate to see the way that arts truly change lives. And it's easy to say that, but it's very, very real. I work primarily with young people. My work has largely been in the schools, and I've seen the way that young people grow through the arts, be it theater, be it music, vocal or instrumental, be it poetry. I have seen in a classroom a young lady who couldn't even stand up in front of the class and introduce herself on the first day, who after a semester is able to take part and be in scenes and present and share. That's success, and that's empowerment, and that comes through the arts. And further along, more strongly on the other side of the spectrum, I've seen a young lady who was a lifelong Detroiter, whose folks were really worried about her education in the city of Detroit and sent her outside of the city to do her high schooling. And when she arrived at her new school, she realized that she was the only person in that school of Mexican descent. And she spent a year and a half being mercilessly bullied and harassed. And in her sophomore year, she decided through a program that she was going to take control of this and dedicated a year to writing poetry about her life experiences, her family's experiences, their journey to the United States, and writing that poetry and sharing it with her classmates in order to educate and to help them to learn and to understand. And the following year, her junior year, most of those students were her good friends. And her senior year, that young lady was her homecoming queen, which to her was a mark of acceptance and respect. And so I see over and over and over again the way that the arts make a difference in the lives of young people. And I could tell stories all day long, and I'm sure that you could tell stories too, and we could just trade them back and forth. But I wanted to recognize and honor today, as we've seen so powerfully displayed on this stage, the ability of the arts to break barriers and to bring us all together. Interestingly, there has been a recent study that came out of the University of London Collegiate Society where they studied audience members at a live performance. And they found that over the course of the live performance, that the audience members' heartbeats were responding to the show in unison, that everybody together was speeding up and slowing down in response to what they were seeing. So I'll say that again. The arts synchronize our heartbeats. So this study went on to say that this unified response can help to break social differences, can bring people together, can develop trust and empathy. And I don't know that there's anyone in this room who really needed neuroscientists at the University of London to tell us that. But it doesn't make that discovery any less astounding. And that discovery is the root of my challenge to you as we leave here today and go back into our communities. I encourage you to find the arts and to make them present. Whatever that means to you, if you respond to poetry or you want to go out and dance or buy a secondhand guitar, whatever it looks like, but find the arts and find the place for the arts in your lives, for your community and in the lives of young people. And make a stage where maybe there hasn't been a stage before and invite people in and invite people to be a part of it and to synchronize our heartbeats together. In our families, and in our schools, and in the city of Hamtramck, I encourage you all to be leaders in the arts and be a part of all of the changes that can come from it. The changes that start with conversation and building empathy and can move forward eventually to justice and to equity. So for the sake of yourselves and for everyone like the young people who we saw on the stage here today, who have found their voice today through the power of the arts, I encourage you to bring the arts everywhere you go. Find a place to bring the arts and make them live and make them present. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Andrea, and she is bringing the Michigan Opera Theater to Hamtramck High School. Thank you for that. Next, Thomas Kors Jr. and the Hamtramck High School Band. Please give the Hamtramck High School Band a round of applause. Before we bring up Darla Swint to close the program, I'd like to recognize the outstanding work that has been done by Madeline Porter and Sharon Screen, who put the programs together. They worked extremely hard. Thank you. And at this time, the history of the concern of the concerned women of Hamtramck, Darla Swint.
Is it still morning or are we at afternoon? Well, I'll just say blessings to everyone. We have truly been blessed today on this special occasion with our children from all of our various school systems displaying their talents, and I just want to give them another hand. Come on now. What about the parents? Are the parents present of these children? Would you please stand so we can acknowledge you, the parents of the participants? Amen. You know, this is the 21st year of the concerned women here in Hamtramck having these Dr. King breakfasts. I must take a moment and acknowledge Miss Myrick because she was the forerunner when Dr. King's birthday was first signed into law. And Miss Myrick, I know you will correct me if I'm wrong, in establishing the employees and the schools in the city of Hamtramck closing. Am I right, Miss Myrick? Okay, thank you. So the concerned women in these 21 years of having these breakfasts that were not all here, I can remember them being over on Danford at the People's Community Center there, coming here, where it was just not, as one of the students said, to honor Dr. King, but to honor diversity. I'm not sure if you all are aware of what the founding members' mission was, and that was to serve the community of Hamtramck. And they've done very well in doing that. And this breakfast is just a coming together of diversity, of showing what one small community can do. And over the years, and I know Miss Myrick again and Lottie and Mary can attest to what I'm saying, our community has changed. But one thing that has stayed the same has been the love and the unity for one another. And that has been what the concerned women have been about over the years. Members have come, members have gone, but the members that have held fast to the mission, which was to serve the community wherever they may be today, they have not forgotten the service that they did while they were part of the concerned women. At this time, I would like for all the concerned women to stand, please. With Miss Myrick being the founder, Lottie, Mary Kegler, just give us a hand. Dr. King wrote, when it comes to unity, and I quote, "There is amazing power in unity. Where there is true unity, every effort to disunite only serves to strengthen the unity." One of our young men who read a poem said that he had been told because he was different that he wouldn't be able to. We are all, every one of us, were uniquely made by our great Creator God. So we're all different, am I right or am I wrong? So we have something to celebrate. Yes, Dr. King was a mighty man. Dr. King worked to open doors for all of us. And we must continue that. I don't care what your color is. I don't care how you speak. I don't care what your faith is. I don't care how you walk, eat, or sleep. You are somebody that was uniquely made in the Creator's eyesight. And it is your obligation to make sure that your voice is heard so that you can reach back and bring up a younger brother, a younger sister. We are all uniquely made. That's what makes Hamtramck such a great community, is that we celebrate our diversity. A few years ago, we had signs on Joseph Campbell, and I just loved them. And it said, I think, you belong here. There is no mistake that we are here in our community. Let us continue to hold up the banner of unity. Let us continue to hold up the banner of love. Let us continue to recognize how important I am to the city. Greg, how important you are to the city. Madeline, you my child, you my friend. We all have a place. We belong here. This is our city. Let us stand, let us recommit, let us know without a shadow of a doubt that regardless of what they're saying and doing in Washington, like Mr. Nietzsche said, that ain't got nothing to do with us, because we will march on. We will hold up the banner of unity. We will love, we will give as the concerned women have done over all these years. And we will love, which is what the mission statement is to this year, our light and our love of unity. Let us remember that. Let Dr. King's living and dying not be in vain, and yours neither. Because we all have to give an account. So let us remember what this day is all about. That's love and unity, and letting our light so shine that they may see the godliness in you and seek to glorify. Our jobs aren't over. Now I'm going to be quiet because I'll start preaching in a minute. Let us all rise, and in unity we are going to lock arms, and we're going to sing the unity song, We Shall Overcome.
Perfect voice.
Let us lock arms. I know everybody knows that lock. The words will be posted on the board. Are we ready? We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. For deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. Hallelujah. Amen. I'll turn the program back over to Mr. Nietzsche. God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you for attending. Hope everyone in this community center leads a life of love and action. And please make sure to drop off your ballot in the basket. Thank you.